say. I will use my notes because I'm really nervous. I always get nervous, but I'm specifically nervous when really good friends listen. So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for me to be with you all today for this year's African Fashion Week in Toronto. It is the first time I visit Canada, and I could not have imagined a more fitting introduction to this beautiful country. The last 2 days have been enchanting, inspiring, and fun. I have met incredible people in a welcoming and colorful environment. Thank you all for welcoming me with so much love and open arms. I really appreciate it. To move on, I have thought about my speech for a long time and how I, as a person, relate to fashion. I came up with what I now will call the 4 pillars of fashion that speak to me the most, which I will go into shortly. I'm not a fashion expert, nor do I have my own clothes line yet. Yeah. For now, I'm a true admirer and enjoyer of fashion and what it stands for. What it stands for and what I have witnessed over the last days are things like entrepreneurial spirit, innovation, community, and a way to express one inner self's most intimate feelings. The stories and items of clothing could tell, and the myriad of reactions can elicit from friends, family, or total strangers is one of the greatest powers of fashion. That being, it can influence a person's mood, behavior, or opinion. Truly powerful stuff, I think. I'm sure there are many more pillars we could add to the 4 pillars that I will shortly be discussing. However, let me use these 4 for the start of 10. Pillar 1, and it's only going to take 10 minutes, so I will be really quick. But I really wanted to say all of that because it's just, yeah, has been amazing so far. So, fashion unites and creates long-term memories. It is a tool that enables a cross-cultural discussion that goes beyond politics. With fashion, ability to cut through political issues and government agendas, it enables genuine dialogue, relationships, and ultimately, memories. There is nothing more important in my mind than a memory. You can take a memory everywhere for the rest of your life. They can be private and contribute to your introspection and personal development, or they can turn into stories to share with families and friends. In this way, it is simply similar to one of my favorite other things, food, but I'm not going to go into that tonight. I remember well my times as a UN peacekeeper in Kosovo at the young age of 18. I was the only woman of my draft from Luxembourg, and it was the first time I had been sent away from my family for an extended period of time. The memories and experiences I collected from this development form the foundations of who I am today. I have met amazing men and women from different cultures, backgrounds, and countries. Of course, topics such as conflict and the experience I faced as a peacekeeper are difficult to be united while talking about fashion. Yet, I remember well the multiple discussions I had with my fellow Norwegian and Belgian female officers about fashion and what we would wear the moment we got back home. The male officers may have thought that they were silly conversations when they overheard us. However, it was a discussion that gave us hope, reminded us of our family and friends, and helped us to distance ourselves for a little while from the reality of conflict. Fashion is not only what you wear right now, at this exact moment, and then you forget about it, and move on to something else tomorrow. It is the memory, the feeling, the emotion it triggers when wearing it. I am sure if I would ask all of you to write down on a paper a memory and what it was like that day. How was the weather? What were you wearing? That you would be able to recall the exact details within a heartbeat. This is the beauty of fashion. It unites and creates long-lasting memories. Pillar 2, fashion as a tool of empowerment and self-expression. When discussing fashion as a tool of empowerment, one name springs to me in my mind immediately. My wonderful and very skilled Adebayo. At the age of only 12, he created his very own t-shirts out of newspapers, taped and glued them together. When I heard his story, it was clear to me that fashion inspires, no matter where you are in the world or from what background you hail from. It brings hope, which is, in my opinion, the most empowering and strengthening emotion one can feel and resource him or herself from. Fashion also empowers by championing diversity. Diversity is our greatest gift. Our individual upbringings, visions, experiences, and memories create a unique style we can all admire here tonight and have admired over the last few days. Not one creation is the same, such as we human beings. We differ all, as does fashion, in many ways, such as color, shapes, and sizes. Of course, courage and boldness are two distinguished features which should not be forgotten when talking about fashion, creations, and human personalities. These features, 5 among many, are part of us and live within us. We draw it out from our deepest inner self for the other people around us to admire, enjoy, and compliment. It is the personification of one true personality which fashion brings to light. Fashion for me is the start of a dialogue between your inner self and the outside world, a testimony to the beauty of nature, nature's fabrics and colors. Pillar 3, fashion does not discriminate. It tells stories of victory, human rights, growth, joy, culture, opportunity, and community. There are many controversies and tensions in today's political, social, and economic environment. Fashion has the most incredible ability to transcend all of these. Fashion does not care if you're black, white, or Asian, boy, girl, straight, or gay. Fashion is for everyone. We also need to be careful not to take it for granted. Every day we wake up and we put on our clothes and go to work. Every time we put on our clothes, we are expressing ourselves and contributing to an industry that does more than just clothes oneself. It brings opportunity, it empowers, and unites communities and tribes under one cultural dress code. A real powerhouse of change and joy that we are all celebrating here tonight. Pillar 4, and the last one. It is a bit more critical, and a reminder to all here and everyone outside these rooms, let it be government officials, students, people from all over the world, and the global media. We all have come far, and I congratulate the everlasting efforts of many, our pioneers, that made this success a reality today. Yet, African Fashion Week is, in my opinion, not yet celebrated globally as it rightfully deserves. In my very humble opinion, African Fashion Week is struggling to get the global recognition it deserves, despite events like this, which are most definitely a step in the right direction. For example, significant raw material is produced and cultivated in Africa. However, the textiles are still not produced there. A lot of African fabrics are imported by China, who processes these raw materials into the fabrics the designers need. This makes it difficult for the local designers to harvest locally resourced materials. The government needs to reinforce trade barriers to enable a growth for local markets. Let us try together to get this point heard by the people that need to hear it, so that an inspiring African designer does not have to compete with Chinese demand. I am with you. Moreover, we have seen many photographers and much media presence here over the last couple of days and tonight. However, African fashion fundamentally lacks international coverage that it truly deserves, and it is often outshined by powerful, more established brands. Let us together do our best to ensure that the African fashion industry gets the coverage and acknowledgement that it deserves. I am with you. Education is critical to enabling what we have just discussed. Africa, I'm sorry, I'm trembling a little bit nervous. Africa has terrific universities, amazing. For example, East Africa is known for its great universities, and yet they often do not offer fashion-related curriculums to enable young people to study fashion. This needs to change. I am with you. Partnerships such as with my organizations, Professors Without Borders, have enabled some regions to add diversity to their educational curriculum already. Maybe fashion theory and application is something for me to look into a little bit more if the demand is there. Again, having governmental support to introduce new curriculum is needed to ensure a long-term growth and sustainability. I am with you. One last thing I have is that often when I visit places in Africa, such as Sierra Leone, Ghana, Uganda, etc., I see a little shift from traditional dressing to Western dressing. I hope that this shift will not dominate in a few decades' time, as I truly believe that African fashion is one of the most beautiful cultural and traditional attires. It is definitely, in my opinion, part of the African culture and heritage, which should be cherished and supported at home as well as abroad. So, despite these burdens and observations, all of you wonderful, inspiring, talented fashion designers, we are all supporting this week by enjoying their enchanting creations. You have come a long way, and this year's Africa Fashion Week is an inspirational example of this successful story. I see a bright, colorful, diverse, fun, and engaging future for African fashion, and I know in a few years' time, it will almost be impossible to imagine it not being a part of the fashion trends of the years to come. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak. Thank you very much for the award I have received tonight, which brings me great joy and provides me with unforgettable memories. And thanks to all here in the room and in the conference center, the fashion designers, their teams, hairdressers, makeup artists, media, security, catering, and all of you guests for making this year's Africa Fashion Week the best so far. I salute you, and I wish you a beautiful rest of the year.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was a